Maharaj, you're always describing such a deep topics, and it can be deeper and deeper. And you also just told us you can start from Guru Maharaj's conception and go from there, and it is also very deep. And just now you mentioned that mind cannot understand all of this stuff, but also we feel that we need some foundation, like firm basics, especially newcomers. So is it a proper approach that you just dive deep into those deep conceptions?
No, what I just said, your heart is hankering for something. This has been, your heart is hankering, who can fulfill that? That's foundational. Who can address what your heart is seeking? A person, place, or thing in this world? So you're searching for beauty. We're telling Krishna is beauty personified. That is simple and direct. You're searching for happiness. Krishna is happiness personified. Oh, how? You want to understand more? So, what people are not searching for something superficial, actually. By default they are, but that will not make them happy. Searching for superficial things. You know, the husk is not the rice. The shell is absent the substance. These are foundational things. To understand that you're the spiritually conscious being in a body generated by karmic circumstance, and you're searching for fulfillment. That's foundational. So what will fulfill you? Any amount of the mundane, or quality of mundane, or on account of your subjective nature, must it be something located in the subjective world? I'm not here to hammer over somebody's head day after day, you're not the body, you're the soul, read the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes, but I'm not going to speak every day this theme. I did that for 10 years. So 10 years of hammering this on people's heads. You look in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and see how much of that type of hammering is there. So we're devotees of Mahaprabhu. So you can't just, we're discussing Mahaprabhu, talking about him, saying, oh, it's all too high, you know, people just need to know, like, what are they going to do tomorrow morning when they wake up? You know, like, oh, all right, well then we have to go all the way back to that. These things are so high. Yeah, all right, then we'll go back. Can the infinite make itself known to the finite? Do you accept this principle? The infinite can make itself known to the finite. If someone says, no, I don't accept that. If someone says, yes, I accept that. All right, that means you accept the principle of revealed truth. Here, there's one level of revealed truth in the Bible or the Quran or the Torah. There's another level of revealed truth in the Vedas, the Upanishad, the Puranas. Another level of revealed truth in the Mahapurana, the Bhagavatam. How serious are you to know these things? Or just always want to go back to ABC. 2 + 2 = 4. We need, you know, addition, subtraction, you know. Got to go back to grade 1 and go A, B, C, D, E, learn the ABCs. How does the song go? No, I know how it goes. So it has a place, but can't stay forever. In grade 1, and say, well, grade 3, they're discussing things, that, you know, like, yes. You're dealing with the ultimate reality and saying, well, it's pretty deep. Well, I guess it should be. Shouldn't it? You know, it's the ultimate reality from which everything has come. So how earnest, seriousness is someone to become acquainted with these things? So if we say, yes, so then read the Bhagavad Gita, read the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita about Atma Gyan, understanding the difference between, the body, the gross body, the subtle body, etc. That's general. Ahang Brahmasmi. That's not, in this sense, a Vaishnava aphorism. That's for everyone. I'm spirit. The Mayavadis say that, the Vaishnavas say, everybody says that. That's general. If someone says, no, I don't accept that, then they're not going to go very far. And it's a waste of time to argue with them. You say, no, I don't believe in God or spirit. Okay, that's your choice. For those who do, there's a way to systematically study these things. We are primarily Gaudiya Vaishnavas. That means we study the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His teachings are about Krishna Bhakti, devotion to Krishna. So that's our primary emphasis. Well, we understand, yeah. In another context, someone they want to. What would be appropriate for them is to hear Atma Gyan, knowledge about the soul, the spirit. It's in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita and other places. We believe that, we preach it all the time. But here, I'm in the context of answering questions about Mahaprabhu. So it would be to go backwards. Talking about the difference between Mahaprabhu's, Puri pastimes and his Navadvip pastimes. So the question by its nature is a deep one. Then there must be some understanding about what is Navadvip, what is Puri, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is Vrindavan, Krishna, Jagannath, Dwaraka, all of these things, which are at the heart of the matter of the discussion of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The followers of Mahaprabhu, they delight in having these discussions. It was the first sloka of the Prema Dhamma Stotram. Do you know? Deva Siddha Mukta Jukta Bhakta Vrinda Banditam Paputapa Davadaha Dukkha Kanditam Krishna Nama Sirudama Danya Dana Sagaram Prema Dhamma Deva Meva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. We're talking about Mahaprabhu. The Devas, the Siddhas, the Muktas, the Vyuktas, the Bhakta, Vrinda, they're all singing his praise. So then someone has to know, what is a Deva, what is a Siddha, what is a Mukta, what are Bhaktas? Well, it's very deep. It is. It's, endless ocean deep. That's what we're interested in. Still, we're talking to someone who knows absolutely nothing about these things. Why should we conceal Krishna? It may be the only opportunity they have in their life to hear something about Krishna. So we may not want to say something so general. We want them to hear about Krishna, even if only for a moment. It'd be the crowning glory of their lifetime as they hear the sound of the name of Krishna once in their life. Even if you say, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, for the soul, there's neither birth nor death, najayate, mriyate, vakadajan. Maybe even more than hearing the slokas, they heard, Krishna says. So it's all good. But we're inclined to discuss the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially in the association of devotees. If we're going to some public program, we're dealing with people who have no knowledge or exposure, we may take another route. I talk about these things all the time, 100 times, 1,000 times. Matchmaker.com, is that too deep? Is that something people have never heard of or can't relate to? If I talk about matchmaker.com, finding your soulmate, and segue from there to a little talk about God, divinity, the personality of Godhead. So it depends on who the audience is. And our audience, as we're here right now, is primarily devotees and those aspiring to go deeper, to have a deeper understanding of these things. Which was our Guru Maharaj, what did he say? He prefers to speak on higher things in a small circle than general things, lower things, in a large circle. That's who my Guru is. That's his preference. That's how he spoke. I'm trying to reiterate, reproduce things that I've heard from him. These are the things he talked about. You know, they're very deep. That's right. They are. Swami Maharaj himself said he has deep realizations of Krishna. If you heard them, you will faint. That's my I'm interested in those things. So I told, when Govinda Maharaj told Guru Maharaj, he said, Goswami Maharaj wants you to tell him something that will make him faint. That's my interest. But if someone earnestly wants to discuss other things, we're ready for that too. We'll discuss it again. I'm not, don't mean to indirectly make less of the Atma Gyan, Atma Tattva that's within the pages of Bhagavad Gita. I repeatedly read those slokas, relish them. But what does it say in there? You know, ascharjavat pashyati kashchidenam. If you have a glimpse of your soul, you'll be astonished. So that's what Krishna says. And again, I've made this point. All the things he's saying there, we can repeat them with great confidence, considering who it is that's speaking. So someone hearing that, it may touch them in a particular way. And they hear those things. And they want to hear more, to go further, to go deeper. But we should not forget that Krishna consciousness, there's nothing deeper than this. So if in discussing it, we say from time to time, high things or deep things, that's going to happen by virtue of what we're talking about. We're talking about the ultimate reality, and as revealed in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So it's very deep. Someone hearing those things, as I told once, a journalist was interviewing me in San Jose and discussing many things that I didn't care to discuss. It was a very awkward conversation. And while I'm talking to her, Mahayogi Maharaj knocked on the door and he said, there's some professors visiting from the school in the Midwest. I was thinking of showing them a excerpt of a video of Guru Maharaj. You have any, recommendations? I said, show, number, this one. He goes, well, which one? I'm saying, the one where Mahaprabhu was saying, if I had a drop of love for Krishna, I would have died long ago. He goes, oh yeah, that's a great, yeah. And he leaves and he's going to go show them this excerpt of a talk of Guru Maharaj. And that newspaper reporter, who had no interest in Krishna consciousness other than like finding out some, ugly things or awkward things. This is like the sole purpose of this meeting. And I'm somehow reluctantly participating in this. And then now we're going to go back to this talk. And she said, can I ask you a question? And I said, yeah, lady, go ahead. And she goes, why did that person say, if I had a drop of love for Krishna, I would have died a long time ago? That was interesting to her. Not some talk about, conscious, that picked her imagination. And I said, well, you know, I'm glad you asked. I thought you'd never ask. Then I told her, as best I could, something. So, and I'm not saying, so then we should just randomly shoot fragments of high things out in the environment. And I'm not saying that. That's just how that happened at that time. Yes, generally we do start with the elementary position. That's correct. Atma Tattva, Atma Gyan, and the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita and other parts of Gita, and there are talks like similar to that in the Bhagavatam. That is the way we begin. But there's also, you look at how Mahaprabhu teaches Rupa Goswami, Rupa Shiksha, that structure. Wandering through the length and breadth of the universe in different life forms. If they're fortunate, they get connection with Guru and get the Bhakti Lata Bij, the seed of devotion. That's how Mahaprabhu begins his talk to Rupa. Then he talks about karmis, jnanis, yogis, and devotees in terms of gradation. Then he's talking about the seed of devotion growing and developing. That's for someone who's interested in devotion, knowing about which is what Krishna consciousness is. So, still, generally we will start that way, and then, as I told once in a conference with reporters, they asked Prabhupada, they're sitting there with, what is the purpose of life? And we're all thinking, because we're trained to say, like, the purpose of the human form of life is to engage in self-realization or God realization or to realize your love of God, or there are these rote recitation of answers we're trained to say in general. So we're thinking, well, Prabhupada's going to say one of these things. I wonder which one he's going to say. So they go, Swami, what is the purpose of life? And he says, enjoyment. And they all go, oh, really? And then he said, problem is, at present, no one is enjoying. And then he gave a little talk about that. About suffering. Then that's more on this theme of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So we worship that, and we will forever preach that. But I think when we're with our group who accept these things, embrace them, then we're pursuing what is exclusively Gaudiya. As Guru Maharaj says, connotation decreases, denotation decreases. They used to make a poster showing how everyone in the world loves Bhagavad Gita, not just us. So Emerson, Thoreau, in the morning I bathe my intellect in the cosmogonal and stupendous glory of the Bhagavad Gita, in comparison with which our modern literature seemed trivial and puny in comparison. And Nietzsche, and this, everyone loves Juan Mascharo, Christopher Usherwood, Annie Besant, Hitler. Everybody loves the Bhagavad Gita. As connotation increases, denotation decreases. We say, yeah, but the Gita and Mayavadis, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Sri Vaishnavas, Madhvas, Mayavadis, You say, no, but Bhagavad Gita must be understood in terms of the light of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then, not the Mayavadis, others, now it's the Vaishnavas. Madhva line, Sri Vaishnavas, Ramanuja line, Gaudiya line. And if we say, and Bhagavatam should be understood through Mahaprabhu and his, and the Rupanuga line, then you're with Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Still, Guru Maharaj would say, because as you point out, we do from time to time discuss things that are very high. He said, so I take the name of Nityananda, Dial Nitai, Dial Nitai, Dial Nitai, to restore myself to my former position, because maybe in discussing these high things, I said something wrong. I made a mistake, or I committed an offense. So I take the name of Nityananda to humbly resume my natural, aspirational, humble position.